Cowards! They're cowards! Why would DC be the ones to ban techies? They were the ones I would have picked.
Remaining.
Oh, Owie, you're a
I guess they didn't want to get techied themselves, Slacks. Nobody wants to play against techies, you know?
That's true. The only person who has fun in a techies game is the person playing techies, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep,
That's not
I think
true.
that's about right. And the people watching.
Yeah,
But-
and them.
I love playing against techies. It's a challenge, and my intellect is so high that a challenge comes very rarely for me.
10 seconds remaining.
The one hero I do want to see played, though, is Puck. And I know we've
5
talked about
seconds
the Fairy Dragon a little bit. Draskell, one of the more cynical of the analysts about the current state of the Fairy Dragon. But I just love watching Puck, man. I just want to see him get one game. You know, just have that one shot at redemption to show us that he's still, maybe, sometimes, sorta, when half the heroes are taken out of the pool, can do something.
Seems to me, yeah, it's gonna be like that fifth pick,
Radiant
like
team
maybe.
pick.
It's like, oh wow, the entire
Dire
enemy
team
lineup is
pick.
so squishy that we could actually kill them with Puck, and it'll do something. That's like the only way I see it happening.
Well, in this game, a first pick TA pretty much means no Puck at all. Just because that 1v1 matchup is absolutely horrid for Puck. But I think the hero suffers from the I have a really strong mid game into I have absolutely no late game potential at all. Like my late game is having a Hex and an Aghanims and hoping that I can start a good fight for my team. And most of the time nowadays, the mids that you're going to see,
10
like Wind Ranger,
seconds
Templar
remaining.
Assassin to a lesser extent, you see Lina, you see Lesh, you see heroes that either snowball
5
super
seconds
hard and
remaining.
also have late game potential, or can deal with BKB carriers. Puck has the worst way of
Reserve
any of
time.
those mids of dealing with BKBs. Even Storm fares better against it than a Puck does. So it's really hard to kind of end the game because teams are getting better, and obviously defending high ground is much easier when it's only like 20 to 25 minutes in, when Puck really wants to hit that I need to end the game timing.
Well, still quite a few prominent heroes left in the pool here. Gyrocopter, Ember Spirit,
Dire
and
team
Phantom Lancer all banned out. And okay, Root go with the Dazzle first pick. Another popular one that's still here is Earthshaker. I would be really surprised if he doesn't get picked or banned in this go around here.
Oh,
And,
yeah. The rump-a-dump. Who are they going to pick against Templar Assassin, though? I feel like Templar is kind of like a rock, paper, scissors. Don't pick the right team, you're just doomed from the out.
Yeah, well, picking her this early can definitely be a gamble. I mean, already they've got a nice damage over time spell and the Poison Touch to try and shoot through that refraction.
10
Quite a few other
seconds
heroes in the pool
remaining.
that they could utilize for that. I mean, we did see one TA game, was it yesterday, where
5
it was a
seconds remaining.
total disaster. I think it was Root playing it, actually, and it all fell apart so
Reserve
early on.
time.
I think the last time Root went up against TA, they went with the Ember, so trying to use the Flame Guard, bring it down, but it's been banned out here, so I don't know, like, do you want to go for the Viper and just, like, throw all your eggs in that basket and be like, okay, we have Viper now, and then moving on to the later stage of the draft, that's kind of something the other team can keep in mind, like yeah, he's great up against TA, but he definitely
Radiant
kind of
team
pigeonholes your whole style, and looks like they'll just play it safe and grab the Earth Shaker, so possibly the
Okay.
offlaner, possibly the support pairing, leaves a little bit open moving forward, which is definitely good in a mode like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting those flexible heroes early on is the name of the game to some degree.
You're not going to take any credit? Come on, baby. You called that, Zyori. That's your baby right there.
Yeah,
Earthshaker.
it's okay. Yep, I called one of the best meta picks in Game 2, but yep.
Got
It was a real stretch.
Remaining.
You know, I
Got
really
it.
put myself out there, and well, sometimes you hit a home run,
5
Slacks.
seconds remaining.
Oh, God, I hate Dazzle.
Reserve time.
You know, the first time I saw your website, Slacks, and I was like, I play Omni Knight, and if you like Dazzle, I don't want you on my stream ever. No, fuck Dazzle. And I was personally offended by that.
Good.
Because Dazzle is my absolute favorite hero, hands down.
What does he do good? What is Dazzle good at?
Radiant team
Everything. He scales well into the late game, right? He's got the offensive, defensive hybrid in the ultimate. His heal does physical damage, shallow grave, the single best non-ultimate skill in the game. For fuck's sake, Slacks, come on. He's got the whole package, and he's pink. He's bloody pink.
Disgusting.
10
And a
seconds
Rubik
remaining.
to roll
He's-
things out.
He's kind of purplish.
That's true.
Maybe
I know.
violet would be a
Seconds
better
remaining.
color.
I'm colorblind. Thanks for reminding me, Draskell.
Wow.
I'm just goofing you
The
guys.
feels.
Yeah.
Dazzle and Rubik
Feels
are
bad,
great
man.
in this level of competitive play. So
This is a good Rubik game, though. Always good to have
Oh,
Rubik
yeah.
against an Earthshaker.
I mean, we're only into game 2, and we're seeing respect
Radiant
bans
team
already.
ban.
It's kind of cool
Yeah.
because I mean, even in the second game, like that Batrider ban They saw Monkey's game and they're like, yeah, whatever. We just don't want to deal with that shit. Just get that Bat Rider out of here. I really like that though, because not only is it just a hero that he plays well, but it's good against TA. There aren't really too many mids left in the pool outside of, I guess, Razor is still
10
in,
seconds
and looks like Lena is not. So yeah, pretty much just
5
Razor is
seconds
the one who
remaining.
really just owns TA at this point.
Reserve time.
Oh, what are you thinking, Marty?
I don't know. I'm like looking around here. I'm just trying to. It's so nice having the heroes for once actually during a draft. Man, great interface. They should replace the one in the game with this stuff.
Dude, I
Shout out
asked
to
for
Buka.
this like literally, I don't even know how long ago. Like before Bruno was Ice Frog for real. You know, that's when I asked him.
It is
know, it's
true.
nice.
It's nice to be able to actually see the hero list, because that is. I remember that at one of the Star Ladders, we had IX Mike come on the panel for and draft with us, and after about 2 picks, he was like, "How the fuck do you guys do this without looking at the hero pool?" I'm like, you get used to it, I guess. You start to memorize the heroes. Will we ever see a disruptor in this tournament? By the way, he still has gone completely ignored up to this point.
I think he's actually criminally underused in this format, at least. Like,
Yeah.
I can understand in normal games where all the tier 1 heroes are in that you might want to skimp over a disruptor, but I feel that hero's super strong in like a second or third game of an elimination match for sure. So
I think he got banned in the second game of 4ASC versus 4 Clovers on the first day.
yes,
that's what
you are
I've been
correct.
told.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was banned once. Okay, fair enough.
But still,
Yeah.
I agree. Like I'm surprised we haven't seen him more. Like he's
10
just a top tier
seconds
hero. We see him a lot in
remaining.
like competitive games that aren't elimination mode. So it's kind of
5
surprising
seconds
that
remaining.
he's being skipped around. I guess there's just certain heroes he's better against, maybe like things like the AM. So you can kind of maybe bring him
Reserve
back.
time.
Other sort of mobile heroes that you want to gank out who are kind of roaming around solo.
Yeah, that's very true. I think there's something to be said too for the kind of synergy that you want with that hero.
Yeah, like
for
Naga.
instance, yeah, the Naga Siren is great with the setup. You have other heroes who require vision with Thunderstrike and stuff like that. So you could have anything from just a couple of range heroes who can hit high ground into fog. That's always useful. You can have Tinker way back when that hero was actually fucking useful. And then it's just a hero who wants at least something else to partner with it, right? So not having like a big AoE ulti to lay on top of a static storm and a kinetic field kind of makes the hero innately a bit weaker. And I also feel like Bounty is great with him, just because glimpses are so freaking easy to land when you have track on everyone, and you can just guarantee that those pickoffs give you so much more, because obviously track is broken and should be nerfed tremendously. But yeah,
Obviously. I mean, come on.
that hero's broken. I'm sorry. Anybody who thinks that hero is balanced is like crazy.
You really think so? You think he's? Will you say that he is who would you say needs a nerf the most in this upcoming patch, Draskell? Is it Bounty Hunter?
In pubs, yeah, I think it's Bounty Hunter. I mean, in
Okay.
competitive play, it's obviously much different, but
Right.
in
Okay.
pub games, it's just so easy for a Bounty Hunter to just like
10
run the game into the
seconds
ground.
remaining.
Like you start the game, your supports don't buy sentries, you fucking lost. Like it's
5
just over.
seconds remaining.
That is true. That is a bottleneck of pubs. People don't like to buy detection.
Reserve
But that's
time.
why you don't balance around pub games, obviously. But I still
Yeah.
think he's insane, even in competitive play.
Yeah, certainly good.
Radiant team.
So here we go. Ogre McGee for Root Gaming. Another big beefcake there for the support lineup. So it looks like it will be most likely the offlane Earthshaker and Digital
Luna.
Chaos playing a little bit of Luna here with their third pick.
When you
That's
can't
nice.
get your hands on a gyro, Luna's pretty much the next best thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm ready to see some definite moves with her. I'm a little worried for her because she's got that little squish, and so far, Team Root, I mean, they got a pretty nice amount of harass coming out so far, so hopefully she'll get some nice support in her lane to make sure that she doesn't
10
get too
seconds remaining.
hacked there. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about that pick, survivability
Are we-
5
wise?
seconds
Are we
remaining.
getting the Lone Druid? We've got the Ogre Magi.
Oh
The
god, no.
Earthshaker.
Reserve
It's
time.
pretty
Oh.
good. Root Gaming.
10 seconds
All
remaining.
signs point to Lone Druid.
Lone Druid is like so bad in this game, actually.
Got to play into the lore.
Ah!
Taker!
Oh my god. Alright.
Root is. These guys are badass. I don't care if they go out 2-0, if they get rolled right now. These guys, they fucking won just based on having the balls to pick the heroes that suck. I like this.
It's entertaining to say the least. Like I enjoy seeing a Tinker. I enjoy seeing last game when they picked the Oracle. All that stuff's very exciting. As far as how good the hero is in this game,
10
I think it's an
seconds
interesting
remaining.
stance that they're taking, because if you look at Root's heroes, they all are kind of defensively
5
postured.
seconds
Slacks brought that
remaining.
up. You kind of just delay the game. So what are they delaying the game for when you're
Reserve
playing
time.
against a Luna and a TA? Because I'm sorry, but come late game, you're not winning
Dire
against those two
team
heroes
back.
with what they have right now. So what is their plan
Yeah.
B? Like, who do they go to and say, please have farm so we can win the game?
That is a good question, which I haven't a good answer.
We still
There's
got a
that
drow with
visage.
the pool boys.
I mean, when they get their carry, it'll be a lot more clear of what their game plan is.
10
I'm just looking at it
seconds
now, and I'm
remaining.
thinking to myself,
Radiant
are they just going to
team
pick
ban.
Sniper? Like, I actually think Sniper's so unbelievably good with their lineup and what they're against. Because TA is the only person on DC who can really get in. And then you're fighting into March, you're fighting into Fissure, you're fighting into Grave, and an Ogre. Like, it's a meat wall. And plus
Wow.
Grave. It's
That's actually a really
insane.
good point. Luna and TA both have pretty short
10
range. You've got
seconds
Shallow
remaining.
Grave, Heals from Dazzle, Fissure to break it up, Ogre with the Bloodlust, Tinker who
5
can come in,
seconds
blind
remaining.
anybody that jumps in on the Sniper. I like that, Draskel. That's a really good idea.
Reserve time.
Yeah, and that was one of the big nerfs that even went to Sniper was that reduction in the movement speed from the Mask of Madness. So, Ogre Magi, he'll be right back into 6.83 with that. Throwing some Bloodlust.
Yeah,
let's
and
go.
behind like Shrapnel and March spam, good luck going high ground. Good lord. I would actually just
10
leave the game if I was
seconds
playing against that.
remaining.
I just
So
be
how
like,
do
I'm
you
out of
break
here
the base
later.
now if you're
10
DC?
seconds
Assuming they're
remaining.
seeing this and they have an offlaner left.
Pick.
All right, Puck and
Radiant team
Deuce
pick.
banned out, and oh my good gracious
What is
me.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, they're fan favorites.
that's fantastic.
These
All right.
guys.
This is just YOLO swag, honestly. They don't even care. It's just whatever we want to play.
They're
This-
sticking with the strat. I love it. Good job,
This
boys.
is awesome, though. This
Yeah.
this really is like. How do you rate this team, though, Draskel? Do they have a chance at like? Is this too crazy? Do they have a chance at winning here? Axe for DC to get things finished off. Okay.
Okay, so my opinion is they fucking lost. That's my opinion. But I mean, Tinker
But
is
they
still
didn't hit
really
style.
strong. You can't underestimate Tinker. A lot of people think that he's like total trash tier because you can't farm Ancients with him anymore. But I think with this kind of supporting lineup, it's going to be so hard for DC to actually push into them. And I actually think that Meepo, super farmed, deals very well with heroes like TA and Luna during the late game. So if he can get ahead and stay ahead, they probably got a shot.
I think they definitely have a shot, but who is the Meepo player en route?
It's Wagga, right?
Is it Waga?
I think so.
Wagga
So-
wagga.
I think it'll be Monkeys, Tinker, and Wagga Meepo. That's my guess.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So safe lane Meepo. Meepo Dazzle is pretty cute in the lane. You can do some fun stuff there with the heal bombs on the Meepos and some physical damage.
Yeah, it's an interesting composition because it relies very heavily on the Meepo player being super skilled at it, obviously. Like, whenever you pick that hero, you have to be good. But this one is even more so, because if he does get behind, a snowballing TA can be very similar to what a Wind Ranger can be to an AM. If you get behind against a hero, you're just having a shit time, like the whole game. You're just going to get, like, isolated and killed. Because there's two ways to deal with Meepo. You go for lockdown, or you go for insanely high burst single target damage, and TA has that. So, if you don't have a great game, you're not going to have a game. You're just dead.
What are you thinking here, Trent?
It's looking pretty
is this
good.
too YOLO for your blood?
No, it's the only way to do it. After that last game, I mean, if you're picking Oracle, where supposedly he's probably only ever played it on maybe a Smurf or maybe in a couple practices, like, just bring out the Meepo. Slacks, you sounded like a moron at the start, but did DC see the Meepo coming? I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't look like it. So, I like the Axe as a little bit of a counter, though. Someone who can kind of get in there. Obviously there's no clockwork or anything. Probably one of the better ones for just disruption and getting in the base when you're trying to break high ground. But Axe will do that. He's manly. Get all those spins from the Meepos too. You might see some nasty counter helixes coming out.
Yeah, I do think Axe is pretty good against the Meepo, to be honest. Anything to get him, anything that can kind of finish him off, like Culling Blade style, and it will be a tough game. I'm cautiously optimistic here for the Meepo player.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's very uncommon to see something like this crazy, and only in elimination, right? Like, where else are you going to see a Tinker Meepo team? I really feel like this team is also going to suffer from the standard. There's not enough farm on the map for our two core heroes. Like, we actually just need twice the amount of creeps to spawn for both of our heroes to get farm. And if they start getting behind, the Tinker has to soak up all the farm. Like, that's what the hero does. So then you're playing, like, with a crappy version of Naga Siren, and, like, a Meepo with no farm. Like, I don't know, dude. I hope syndereN has better analysis for how they're going to win than I do, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Stay tuned
interested.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it, though, to be honest. Like, I'm always in for new stuff. That's always fun.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm curious about, though, I feel like there isn't really a lot of synergy with the Bloodlust. That was what I really liked with the Sniper, is he really benefits from what the Ogre brings to the table, especially towards the late game. Meepo, definitely, I mean, one of them, obviously, will benefit,
Yeah.
but it's not quite that same level of synergy, and Tinker, well, he doesn't do too much with the Bloodlust.
Gotta get the multicast going on all the meepos. For your
Yeah.
bloodlust.
Oh, there
yeah.
you go.
There you go.
Boom. That's the strat right there.
Yeah.
Let's be real though. I mean, Dazzle Meepo, that has a lot of synergy. I mean, that's one of the best supports for Meepo. As you were just saying, you know, a little bit of bloodlust there too. I think it could work. It could work. Will it work? Probably not. But it could. I'm up for it, man. I put all my hats on Dota 2 Lounge on DC, but it could work.
But in your heart.
In my heart, I'm with the Meepo.
Okay.
Oh my. Alright, fair enough. And with that, folks, we are going to hand it over to our casters here for the NA semifinals. You're watching the Elimination Mode tournament from Moonduck TV. Use hashtag Moonduck TV on Twitter if you want to communicate with us during the game. We've got syndereN and Maut. Boys, take it away.
Thanks so much, Diori. I actually have no idea what to say about Root Gaming's draft other than what the hell. And Sind, I want your take on it because honestly, this is the strangest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. So,
What the hell?
yeah,
There you go.
that's it. All right.
Yeah.
Well said. Well spoken. Great.
Was my
Great
analysis better than Draskel's already?
Top tier, actually, 100%.
Okay, so all right, let's all right, let's think about this for a second. So, wait, what are they gonna do? Yeah, I don't fucking know actually.
That's exactly. Nobody knows what they're doing.
All right, so they're offlaning. They're definitely. Wait, what are they offlaning? They're offlaning Ogre, right? So they're offlaning Ogre. He's pretty tanky and decent in the offlane. They could maybe duel off him with a Shaker or with a Dazzle. Shaker can start there and just block so they can get experience. They can safe lane Dazzle with Meepo. Dazzle Meepo is not that bad against Axe. Meepo has 4 starting armor. His health is pretty good. He starts with 23 strength, so he can survive a couple of spins. Maybe they can catch a kill up there and play from there. Or they put the Meepo mid and they put Monkeys top. Looks like it is going to be a safe lane Meepo for Waga, judging from his item build here.
Right, and Monkey says the two shared tangos in the Null Talisman as well. So it looks like he will be going mid. So, I mean, everything's kind of settling in. And Swan went down bottom, put down a ward, has 3 clarity. So we'll see if he decides to stay in that off lane. I really just, it's going to take a minute for everything to settle in. You know, Root, the sweethearts of the tournament, Digital Chaos, they're like, we need to win this Dota game. We're not going to pick anything fun. I guess the axe is kind of fun, but they clearly have their heart set on winning. That's okay, I'm sure. Either way, they're going to rotate up to the top lane right now. As always, guys, my name's Maut with me and syndereN. We have Pitmuckle on production and observing, and Maut Pax doing the stats, as well as being on the panel, doing double duty.
30
So
seconds to battle.
see how things turn out here. Lunar Blessing skilled early on for DC, just being aggressive. And I
This
mean,
level 1 from DC is actually pretty strong. They hit very, very hard early on. AUI also hasn't skilled yet, so just a couple of attacks and they could pump out a very powerful soul assumption. So I don't think there's any reason for Root to try to contest this rune. That means Yawar is going to get a decent start in the mid lane. And this is an interesting matchup, though. Tinker versus TA is actually one of the matchups I would say isn't that TA favored. She generally wins the mid lane, but Tinker, of course, has both Laser and March that are annoying to deal with for her. She can't last hit under Laser. She has absolutely no way of getting CS without her physical attack. And, of course, Tinker with March can also remove Refraction pretty easily and just push out the lane and go stack the jungle.
get rid of that refraction. Just make sure that she takes as much damage as possible. Monkeys Forever, however, in doing so, will need to get a bit of mana, have a battle, have a soul ring as well, and have to kind of avoid the side blades later on down the road. Not to mention the damage that can come from just refraction and melt strike. So we'll see how this lane does turn out. Monkeys Forever is going to get an early salve just to make sure he's able to tank up, and just going to run at Yawar, surprisingly enough. Down bottom, there is a great Observer Ward to find out that Derp and Ja are down in an aggressive tri-lane with Waga farming it up here as well. So guess who's not walking up? Boba does not want to take a step forward here other than to maybe try to get one lucky spin, get a couple of creeps, get at least one last hit, but they have some very good vision with this Observer Ward down here.
Yeah, this is a very interesting laning constellation that I wasn't imagining we were going to be seeing here. all in all, judging from what I was expecting from the lanes, I guess this favors Root a bit more than the standard setup would have, so I think they got the better out of the lane trade. And they're going to be roaming the Ogre as a result, and they could probably pressure this TA in mid really hard, actually, maybe even look for First Blood with Ignite. When he does get spotted here by the Rubik of Biryu, so not going to happen.
Yep, Biryu walking nearby. They also saw him walk away from that observer ward down bottom, and I don't really know where he is at this point. They might have seen him, I'm not sure. Jaw's going to be back up on the high ground here. Bulba's just trying to zone out Derp and try to get in experience range as much as possible. And Waga's pretty much just got a free lane. He's up to 8 last hits, tied with the leaders, and Yuar as well as up top, and the Luna, who's in an aggro dual lane.
I think this is the kind of situation on Dazzle where you want to skill Poison Touch. Like you just use it to zone out Bulba. It's a physical damage ability, and Bulba has 2 armor, and the Stout Shield doesn't work against it. So it's actually, if you look at the way Poison Touch level 1 works, it works for 10 seconds, and it deals 14 damage a second. That's 140 physical. That's a super powerful level 1 ability for just draining out regen, and Bulba right now is sitting on 3 tangos. If this Dazzle had skilled Poison Touch and used it whenever he could, Bulba would be out of regen. And then all of a sudden, Waga can maybe play this lane on his own and not be scared of anything.
He can still skill that point. Derp still has that point available. He hasn't skilled anything with it.
I think the reason he's hesitant is that he feels like, well, what if Waga gets 2 really good Earthbinds and he comes in close? They could get so much burst damage out with the Shadow Wave, and that's true. But I think instead you just get the Poison Touch, you zone out Bulba entirely so he doesn't even get level 2, and then you go and steal half the experience from Waga after he's level 3 and just get level 2 then.
Yes.
So I don't really agree with this approach to Dazzle right here. A lot of the time I don't think Poison Touch is worth skilling, but this for me is one of those great situations to do it in. 2-on-1 lane.
Still could. See if they can zone him out as effectively as possible, and Jaw is actually going to get the 2-minute rune. It is only bounty, so no haste or anything like that to roam. He does have his early Ignite, no Fire Blast skilled up just yet. Biryu is walking down towards that bottom lane. They notice that he's rotated. This Observer Ward will give him complete vision of that. Yuar actually had to salve up in this mid lane, but he is very close to his bottle, so he will have some regen to work with. Meanwhile, Invis picked up for AUI. Grave Chill. Going to be a great spell. This should be first blood, I think, against Monkey's Forever. Grave Chill's going to go off. He's got the Soul Assumption available. Telekinesis comes in as well. Maybe Jock can help out. There's going to be the March of the Seed. Soul Assumption, not enough damage. One more right click to do the job, and it will. Just barely. Can they get a return kill? Are you walking through the March, but not enough damage? Tower hits won't do enough. Fire Blast was about to go. Animation was canceled in the end. And that will mean First Blood goes the way of the Visage. Nice play and great Invis rune.
Wow, that is a really good win rate.
Pretty good.
On Visage for AUI. That's pretty scary. That's a 60, what's that, 65% win rate? 60, no wait, is that?
Don't ask me to do math, Sin,
67?
Please don't ask me.
Maut, what is it?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Trent, you're on the ball now.
You don't learn math in American schools?
Oh, we do. I'm just not very good at it. Yuar is gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah, that's got to be. He was 2 for 1, right? 71 to 36. Yeah, it's about 66% win rate. That's really good.
See the number, but I think that's it. Yeah, pretty good. That's pretty solid. Bulba's gonna be in the jungle for a while. He doesn't have Tranquils yet, but now, like you mentioned, Derp is gonna be leeching some experience from Waga, walking down with his first clone of the game. We'll see how that turns out. I'm very excited to see if he can keep pace with maybe the Luna and get some farm in the jungle and then just go to town, because Meepo with farm is very good. And Tigger as well. Tigger going down a bit unfortunate. Still doesn't have his bottle yet, so Monkey's Forever in some trouble right now. Only 11 last hits to the 16 right now of the Templar Assassin. Jaw is sitting around mid just to try to help out, maybe secure the 4-minute rune as well, but this Tigger's going to need a bit more help, I feel like.
Yeah, this lane is not going the way he wants it to. It's okay if you're tied with TA, but with no stacks in the jungle to speed up your boots of travel, TA is just going to make more of the same farm as Tinker than Tinker is. That sounded really weird. You get the idea. Because she also even has a triple stack here, as it looks right now, so has way more to gain as well in the jungle.
Yeah, that's going to be... I mean, also I would expect to see some stacks coming from the side of the Dire, just so the Tinker can have some marching stacks to work with too, but that's not going to be the case. He's going to, I think, Bottle Crow real quick. He did get the regen, or rather the bounty rune top lane. Yuar did not get the rune, but I think he's also Bottle Crowing, so no big deal. Down bottom, Waga's still here. Biryu's starting to rotate in as well. 95% of the Digital Chaos games I watch, Biryu is playing Rubik, so he clearly feels comfortable on this hero, and we'll see if he can get a kill or anything with this. In fact, he's going to Telekinesis, Earthbind's going to go. There's going to be the call from Bulba, Spin's not coming just yet. There's one. Derp's going to grave himself. There's going to be the Earthbind, gets the second, it'll be the kill on the Biryu. TP coming in, Derp not going to get away. Battle Hugger bringing him down. Still an okay trade, Waka getting that kill, and I think I favor Root. I guess it's kind of even, though.
How often do you die to Battle Hunger level 1 while TPing?
Not very.
That's a pretty rare sight there. from Bulba. I think he actually mistimed his attack so that he might have not got the kill if it wasn't for Battle Hunger. He might have hit too late after the TP went out, but here's it there.
Ogre. Fisher's gonna come through. Ja does have his Fire Blast, not gonna use it the last right click, and TC will get it done. Only the level 1 of the Lunar Blessing and 3 points in that Lucent Beam, so...
Yeah,
still
I like this
hanging
build a
on
lot
that
from
point.
Luna. The first point in Lunar Blessing is a great value point, and then you, most of the time, you actually want to max Glaive so you can go jungle a lot more effectively. They might save the stacks for him instead of giving them to Yawar, or he can just, you know, push the wave top and then clear the jungle camp and just rinse and repeat that. It's very good.
Holding on to the point, though. 3 points into the Lucent Beam, 1 point into the Lunar Blessing, 1 point into the Eclipse, so... He would decide
Yeah, he's holding a point right now.
Yeah, he's
there
gonna
we go.
put it into Glaives. There it is, yep. So... Alright. Bulba's gonna finish off his Tranquil, so now he can effectively jungle, assuming he somehow doesn't
Wagga?
lose them. Wagga misses
Almost
the
got
Earth
that.
Bind, that sucks. Trying to try his own.
I don't know if he
but-
can realistically get that kill on X, though. If there's any sort of rotation. But maybe they didn't have TPs to help him out. Well, both supports and DC do have TPs, so... Let's see if Bulba tries for
play.
this.
Yeah, Zerptip and Wagga staying right next to each other. Jaws mid, and here comes Monkeys. It looks like he has a haste rune now, so he's getting some decent rune control. Top rune, was that taken by TA? It was. It's Bounty rune, obviously. And they actually they sack top lane for now. They rotate 5 heroes mid, with the exception of Wagga, but that's just one of his regular heroes, and the clones in the jungle.
Dire's top tower is
Yeah,
under
he's
attack.
looking towards his stack now. Look at this aggressive
Radiant's
playstyle.
bottom
It's not
tower
often you see
is
5
under
heroes
attack.
just rotate towards the mid lane.
DC are reading this situation perfectly. They're getting way more out of this. They're out farming, they have stacks in the jungle, they're using
Radiant's
Luna to push the
middle
tower
tower
with
is
that
under
level 1
attack.
Lunar Blessing, and they're trading absolutely nothing
Dire's
for it.
top
Like,
tower has fallen.
this really cost them nothing to get that tower, and that's pretty unusual at minute 7 in the enemy safe lane that you don't try to defend. But Root just don't feel like they don't really have the solutions for it.
No, apparently not. That Luna, especially with Eclipse, is difficult to deal with. There's a lot of burst damage here. Fade, Bolt, Soul Assumption, Eclipse, Lucent Beam. They're going to try to go bottom. Earthbind is going to connect onto Bulba, and that should be another Earthbind as well. Good call coming in. Wagga doesn't have the mana to use his poop on one of his meepos. Misses the Culling Blade. Fisher's going to come out. Soul Assumption will clean it up. So Schwan will get the kill on Bulba. Wagga will go down to AUI. And still maybe a fight breaking out here. Derp is still nearby, but Biryu as well as AUI will walk away. And this is just going to leave TC for free farm again top lane. He's already chipped down the damage to about, you know, maybe 1/4 or 3/4 of itself, rather.
This tower is going to go down to
Dire's top
less than
tower
half.
is under attack.
Probably going to go down to a quarter before he has to back. So TC's getting so much damage done. I can't believe Root are letting them do this. Like this, you gotta defend. They're actually now using a glyph
Dire's
pretty much too
top
late.
tower is under attack.
They
missed
missed
the
the
Fisher
Fisher
on
on
Biryu.
Biryu. They can't even find him. And they're not even getting a tower out of this. They're not doing any tower damage whatsoever. They can't find Biryu. He's still at pretty much full
Wow.
health. And
you
TC is
serious?
getting absolutely everything out of this top lane. He might even get this tower if they don't back
Dire's
soon.
top
Wagga will come
Ogre
up
is
here,
too
but
fat to get through the trees.
lose some weight, Biryu. Come on.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's unfortunate.
Dire's middle
Air.
tower is under attack.
I mean, I'm assuming it's just a big fat air walking around, which would actually just be the greatest thing. Wagga's pretty happy about the entire situation.
Walking
Radiant
error.
structures are fortified.
Wish someone else
Radiant's
had that
bottom
bug.
tower is under
I like that.
attack.
So they're still putting
Here
a
comes
lot of pressure
Biryu.
on this bottom lane, but Biryu's gonna look for a telekinesis.
He made
does
it,
find
actually.
it. Good Fisher. Eclipse is gonna go, and it will bring
Oh,
down
I got
Monkeys
lucky
Forever
there.
just at the tail end with that Eclipse. So again,
He did
Monkeys
hit 2
Forever.
Eclipse hits and a Lucent Beam there, right?
I think so.
On him. That was pretty fortunate for TC, because... Yeah,
He was pretty
without that
far,
extra
too.
beam on the target, they don't get him.
I'm surprised that hit. He was pretty far away.
Yeah. I might have been wrong there. It's possible I misinterpreted that.
Either way, he dies. Monkeys Forever is still far away from getting Boots of Travel, and when you're far away from Boots of Travel, you're far away from attack. You're far away from being able to keep the game prolonged and pushing out waves. And I don't want to say that Monkeys is useless right now, but he has a long way to go.
Yeah, the Radiant side right now have 5,000 gold ahead minute 10. And that's with only 1 tower taken, so there's a lot more unclaimed gold on the map for them to get very quickly with their Luna lineup.
Is under attack.
And once again, it's just gonna... For me, it comes down to Root have not nearly stacked enough. It's very clear here that they're not used to playing with a Tinker, because this is so important. When you have a Tinker in the mid lane, you have to stack for him. It's for Tinker, compared to other mid laners, this is not a fallback strategy that, like, if your lane goes bad, you jungle. You have to jungle. the lane farm is not enough to get a reasonable enough timing on the Boots of Travel, compared to if you have like a TA that just clears out the waves and gets useful items with less gold. Tinker needs so much gold to be useful.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is also, is Wog has been in the jungle for a while. That's another instance where it looks like maybe that's one of the reasons why they didn't want to stack. Oh, and the thing is, they could have stacked too, because Okra's just been roaming around. What has he been doing exactly? He's gone bottom once or twice. He's maybe gone mid, but in that time span, he could have been stacking. They do have at least one stack here at the hard camp. He is clearing it now. He's marching it up, and that'll get him to about 800 or 900 gold. Still ways away from Boots of Travel. And as you said, that's not going to make him effective, or nearly as effective as a Templar Assassin. So Fisher's going to go. We'll miss it at AY 2000, just barely. Tip doesn't connect, and he'll be able to back up with the full medallion in tow.
He's basically 1,000 gold behind par and Tinker right now. I think a good benchmark for getting Boots of Travel, Soul Ring, and Bottle mid as Tinker is about minute 10-11.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still got another 800 to go for those travels. And as it is with every hero in Dota, but especially with Tinker, it's a snowball factor. Like, the slower you get your Boots of Travel, every item after that gets delayed even more. Because you obviously find way less farm in the map right now than you usually would. So his game impact is not getting delayed by the duration his travels are getting delayed by. It's getting delayed even further.
Something that's not getting delayed is Bulba's Blink Dagger. He'll have it, and they're going to immediately smoke up with it and guess where they're heading. It's right to that jungle where Monkey's Forever is situated, and there's a good chance he just dies right now. And the Culling Blade. It's just about as easy as it gets. But bottom line, there is a fight breaking up potentially. No, it's just some Visage Birds chasing after a couple of the heroes. They were putting some pressure on the tower. It is going to get denied. So even when Root try to get something going, it gets denied in the end. And provide them the gold they were looking for. It's such a tough time just to find anything. Waga is getting some decent farm. His Ags is not too far off, but he's going to have to do some heavy lifting in this game, and easier said than done.
Yeah, this is looking a lot like game number 1, where DC just play the stronger early game. They have better control of the lanes. They have a better overarching strategy, I would say, for how they want to perform the game. And right now, as long as they're controlling the enemy jungle and they continue to put pressure bottom as well with TC and the Visage Birds right here, Root have to run from lane to lane to try and defend, but they're not accomplishing anything. And that gank on the Tinker might just seem like, oh well, he died one more time, but again, every time he dies, his game impact gets delayed by like 3 minutes. So this Tinker, Root can't hold their towers with Tinker yet, because he can't be there. Right now, he has to pay 100 gold every time he wants to try to defend a tower a bit.
And they're going to go after him
again.
Oh,
if they catch him again now, this is horrible.
Rog is nearby, but I don't think near
Oh,
enough,
boy.
I think that's it. He's just going to go down, and I don't know what they could possibly do. He does get the kill on Viryu. That's pretty big, so he does end up with 1,700 gold. That, if he dies there without getting that kill on the Rubik, I'd almost say that almost GG. Again, I don't like saying that early, but like, he's not doing anything. Yeah, it's going to take him a while to get back into it, but I think that kill is really good, at least of just nullifying a little bit.
I think it more than nullified it. He ended up with more gold there than if the fight hadn't even happened. But of course, he's on the sidelines for 30, so maybe it evens out in the end. But this is almost travels for him. He's going to have them around minute 14 to 15. It's considering he has 4 deaths, that's a pretty good time. Since they didn't stack the jungle for him very much, but obviously, when we're saying considering how hard it's been, you would have wanted it to not be hard at all. Yeah, Waga's very dead.
Fisher, but the spin's coming through, and he's just going to get dunked on again. And so he goes down. He was getting close to his Dragon Interceptor, and it's just not, I mean, you look at it now, and we haven't checked in the TA in a while, and he's got a Desolator all of a sudden at 13.5 minutes in. And
the farm is just going to ramp up more and more for the Radiant. The Dire can't keep up with this pace, and when you look at their lineup, when it comes to countering TA, the main thing I want to say they have that's really, really good against her, that's maybe not the most obvious thing in the world, Meepo is actually really good. The multiple damage sources from getting in close and just hitting her physically with each Meepo one time, and of course the constant lockdown from Earthbind is really good. But I think Yawar is just so rich that it's actually not going to become a problem for him. They get the tower now as well, the Radiant bot tower is gone, or sorry, the Dire one. And if the Dire lose their mid-tier 1 tower as well, we're just going to start seeing DC just gradually taking away percentages of the root map farm.
They already have 7,500 net worth lead. Duard does pick up an Invis, rather a double damage room, but it's not going to matter if he dies here. The March breaking it down. Millstrike's going to go. Ooh! That splash damage coming through does a lot. In fact, it takes down the Earthshaker. Now Monkey's in trouble, but look at the grave. Gets called through immediately. and Bola takes care of it. Hear you. Now another jump. Bola gets the second slam. Double kill for him. More spins coming through. He's so fast with that buff, the Culling Blade buff. TC's going to walk in the backside. Jaw in trouble. Not much of a beefcake if you're only level 6 in the Ogre Magi with just Boots of Speed. They kill 4 heroes. They will get the tower. Sure, you got your war if you're Root Gaming, but that does not matter whatsoever when you're this far behind.
Yeah, they lost another 1,000 gold on the net worth there. In addition to, of course, whatever they're not farming in the next duration, they lose the tier 1 tower. And again, it's really playing into DC's hand. It's incredible how much damage Awar actually managed to get out there, considering how many heroes were on him, but just getting that refraction off and getting 2 attacks with the Desolator off with Psyblades netted him a kill, and of course set up for a very easy cleanup for his team, so I think he's perfectly okay with that.
Absolutely.
Time's just running out for Root.
There's not much time left. They will miss the call onto Waga, but he'll poof in. Won't go too far. Here he's gonna rearm, and it looks like maybe it was the air bug. Poof does get canceled on one of the meepos, but the rest of them will take down Biryu, and
he couldn't see it. Okay. I mean, if he can't see the meepos at all, and it's like the Rubik's telling him Biryu's like jump, 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 and he just jump and calls randomly on the ground, hoping that there's a meepo. I don't know. I thought he said he saw an error sign.
Yeah, that's
and then
what
you see where the sign is.
Yeah, but maybe it's not exact. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
I'm not sure. It was very
I'd like
strange.
to see his perspective, actually. I'd like him to take a screenshot of this and send it to somebody. I'd like to see how this actually works. He's doing fine without it. I mean, that was the first missed blink I think he's had this game. He's killed Waga a couple of times as well with the blink call and Culling Blade, so doesn't seem to be hindering him too much, thankfully enough. Monkeys Forever, 100 gold. The road to the Blink Dagger now begins. He's gonna bots bottom, where AUI 2000's waiting, with Visage Birds. He does have a haste rune, but gotta be careful still. Marks is gonna clean up some of these creeps and get him some farm, hopefully. Alright.
And again, we're just seeing Seer just using the map better. Like, this is economy. They're getting an advantage every single minute from just stacking better. You see now there's a triple stack on the Ancients. You know that TA is going to be able to farm it very quickly. Even the Axe could technically farm it to an extent, maybe over 2 attempts. And Luna can also farm stacks. They're able to just maximize the outcome, or the income rather, of this jungle. And again, Root are in a position where they're getting desperate right now. I like this smoke play. I think it's coming way too late because it's similar to the last game, right? Where they gave AM away. They're losing on economy. They need to make something happen. It takes too long, and then they lose on that said economy. And right now, this smoke, I feel like should have been way earlier. You have to try to go for fights and get into the enemy jungle and disallow them from just playing you this way.
They walk away from Yawar, and they might have been able to get that kill as well. Their smoke broke. I don't know if it was that.
Look at Derp getting 2 shot. Oh, they disagree on going in here.
Gonna get jumped on with the Berserker's Call, but they decided just to back off instead. They didn't know who was behind him. They didn't have all the heroes there. TC was still in the jungle, and down bottom was AUI 2000. Again, a lot like last game is just split pushing, farming, and Lane's getting experience, getting levels, and he's done a great job. They prioritize him so heavily, and pretty much any team he plays for. He's a very farm effective 4 position, and he continues to be so in this particular instance. Because that, like you talked about, they're just stacking Ancients. They're using the jungle more effectively. They're using map control more effectively. Luckily, Waga does have an Aghanim Scepter, but what is that exactly going to do from them here? They have to get so much out of this. I don't know if there's... I think he still needs to blink or something before he can actually fight.
Yeah, I guess the good news for him to an extent is that the Radiant right now has a lot of... Well, I can't even say that anymore with how farmed TA is and now has a Blink Dagger. Because until that point, you'd be like, okay, as Meepo, the enemy team, sure, they've got quite a lot of damage, but a lot of it is spread damage, like Eclipse spreads on multiple targets. Axe isn't so much about single target as much as just spreading out damage across multiple units. Fate Bolt, Familiar Stun, Soul Assumption's great single target, but that's pretty much it. But now with this Blink Dagger, TA will always be able to find an angle to just jump on one Meepo and get the job done.
Yep. AUI taking a significant amount of damage, but Monkeys was not able to deal enough to do. I mean, he's level 1 laser, I believe. It's just stolen by Biryu and thusly used to just shoot him in the face, and AUI will bring him down with the Visage Birds and his right click. So Monkeys Forever finds himself in yet another death and yet another grave. So that's going to be him down for 33 seconds. Root will try to split up the map. Waga will continue to farm with Aghanims, and on we go.
And it's just a matter of time before DC think it's Roshan time, I'm guessing. They might want to get a gem and just counter the area, or alternatively just smoke in. Yawar can kill that so quickly with his Desolator and with Lunar Blessing. I'm guessing if Yawar and TC run in there together, and there's even a medallion now as well on AUI, almost a crest if that's what he's going for, they could kill this Roshan within 10 to 15 seconds. So if
Yeah,
they
that
smoke,
makes sense.
and Root might not even react on time.
That's something that, even if they have that ward there, can they really actually stop it? And maybe with an Earthshaker Echo Slam, he's trying to get to that Blink Dagger. He's chugging along, 1,400 gold in the bank, and
March
maybe
is
someday
pretty good in the
soon.
pit.
That's true, and it is, I think, max level as well. It should be max level as Thinker after all. He's getting closer to his Blink Dagger. DC kind of slow playing it. They could be more aggressive if they want, but now they're just going to go top, cut the creep wave real quick, and head towards the tower. And that, in the meantime, Root are just going to sit mid. Can they actually get anything done with this? They're going to head to Roche. Guess what? Yawar's already in there. He's going to work on his own.
This could be big for Root.
They see him. They
He can't blink.
Oh, they have a smoke. If they walk past him,
Oh, no, he
Waga's
can't.
going to get his smoke broken. They know he's in there. The Earth Pipe, but the blink goes away. Yawar. They actually might have just started it up for them. Can they take this in time? They don't have the best right click. The Ignite's going to go. Roche is falling low. This could be what they need. They should be able to get this Aegis. Coming in, Yawar should have a blink pretty soon. Roche goes down, Meepo does pick up the Aegis, and they turn it around, and finally they get something going their way. At least anything. Monkeys Forever, able to TP home. Bulba getting low, Fire Blast, but here's the Eclipse. Waga going to town, Waga gets the kill, gets graved up, doesn't matter. Aegis expended, 2-for-1 trade so far, and you are going right to work on Ja. Earthbind's gonna miss. DC keeps running at them. Biryu and AUI caught out of position. Schwan out of mana, has got the soul ring. He wants to eclipse, but he can't find the angle. Waga's low. He will finally go down. Monkeys Forever finally back in the fray, but it's a little bit too late. 3-to-1 trade. Bulba the only dead hero on the side of DC, and that's a triple kill coming out for TC. As 4 heroes die, they might even find Monkeys Forever. In fact, they will. Oh, the melt strike right to the face. It's a team wipe, and Digital Chaos, despite, of course, losing the Roshan, they don't really care. They clean house.
Yeah, before that fight happened, I was like, it's pretty greedy to go for Tier 2 and Roshan at the same time, 20 minutes in. But ultimately, even though they do lose the Roche, they're just showing how much stronger their composition and how stronger they are in the game, and also that they're the more experienced and stronger team. Or I guess saying experienced is not really fair, because both of these teams are new, but they definitely have some veteran players in Bulba and AUI who can lead the forces, and of course TC as well. So they get the way better exchange there. They were also super far ahead going into the fight, so maybe it's not fair to expect Root to do better than that. It's almost a 20k lead minute 22. Entering.
I think even if they kill Yawar in that situation in the Roche pit, does that really change anything for them? Yawar probably, maybe...
He did some decent damage, at least to the Meepo on the second life, but they could have maybe won that fight 4-5. It's possible.
Yeah. Well, what could have been, maybe taking down Yawar on the Roche pit could have given them a better advantage. However, that didn't actually happen. Root will walk up top. His Blink Dagger is now finished. AY is close by. It looks like Monkeys Forever will see him. And he will not be able to blink on top of him because Monkeys doesn't have his blink yet. More TP's coming up top. Bulba's here ready to fight. BKB now done for Yawar. If he wants to, he can walk up there as well. Could have his TP, but he's not going to use it. Instead, Waga's going to jump onto Bulba. Going to be the Culling Blade ready to go, but Bulba just trying to throw it down. Can't actually get it done and actually gets destroyed by Waga in the end. Right clicks. They didn't even really poof on him. Just clicked him in until he was dead. Blade Mill not really helping him in that situation. And that does provide the gold for Monkeys Forever to have a Blink Dagger now. And we're getting there.
Yeah, so last time we checked up on him with the Boots of Travel, I think I said he was 3 to 4 minutes behind par. But he's also died extra time since then, but now you see like the whole snowball effect, right? Now he's probably 7-8 minutes behind par, I guess. Maybe that's unfair. 6 to 7, I guess. Having Blink Dagger in this inventory at minute 15 is pretty good for mid, so... It's slowly but steadily getting harder and harder, and again, it's the map control of DC that really shines through, and even though they lose Bulba here and giving them a little bit of a free pick-off for Root, they're gonna need way more than this. Do they actually have any smokes? They do have one smoke in stock. I feel like you just use it and go fight now. You avoided losing the Roshan, so now you're fighting into a team that's very far ahead but doesn't have Aegis. If you don't, I mean, it's only gonna get harder.
Yeah, and the longer you wait, it's not like you are and TC are going to fall off anytime soon anyways, and they're going to be the ones to push the pace and smoke up instead, so they're going to try to find a pick off, and Schwan is looking pretty juicy in this mid lane for now. They'll pick up the haste soon first and foremost, and Bulba will lead the charge. He's going to head towards bottom, and Monkeys Forever is just like sitting there oblivious, and May end up dying yet again. They should.
Radiant's
Oh, they know
middle
now.
tower is under attack.
Blinks into the tree line. Bulba's gonna blink in the opposite direction. Monkeys Forever sees them coming.
He hit him with the Blade Mail, though.
Yeah, and see the Blade Mail stopping his Blink Dagger. He'll just try to TP out anyways. The Fisher already went for Beeryu, so dodges a gank there. Smoke of Deceit, not useful for DC, but it's just that dangerous. I mean, that's what can happen for Monkeys Forever if he's not careful.
Well, he dodged the gank. They're split pushing a bit top with Waga. Of course, Meepo at this point in time will be able to flash farm very effectively. Waga good at spreading out his Meepos here and farming multiple stacks at once, while also keeping the push on top. But they will be losing a Teacher Tower here, and I don't think DC are going to stop. They might just push in for the tower here. They have BKB ready on TA.
March is going to go.
This is hard to push into.
Yeah, the March is doing a great job, and the Rockets as well. This might actually allow them to get this Tier 1 tower top, and it will.
Radiant's top tower
First tower that is
fallen.
not denied for Root Gaming. Blink Dagger is now done for the Earthshaker. Level 1 Echo Slam's not, you know, the best, but it's still something to get them going.
Radiant's
They need
middle
anything,
tower
man.
is under
They
attack.
gotta get their hands on anything at this point. And a Tier 1 tower is at least something.
I'm wondering if the Radiant are in a position right now, you know, we've seen this pocket itemization, whatever you want to call it, used once or twice before against Tinkers in competitive matches where you go for like 2 or 3 Blade Mails, you just run into the March and he dies. I think when Tinker's this far behind, it could actually be useful for DC to just end the game. Like, all other items they get right now will not allow them to siege as easily. A pipe is pretty expensive, no one has the build-up right now. Multiple BKBs are great, but then you really have to get the job done during those 10 seconds or the March will start to kick in again.
Yeah.
So, the Blade Mail play could work, and it always catches the Tinker by surprise the first time you play it in the game. And then you get one free kill.
He double marches into like 3 Blade Mails, and then all of a sudden he's just dead on the floor.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect that, but that could be a solution to the Tinker and the March problem that they might be having.
They could grave him, though. This is a special case, I guess. But maybe
Yeah,
not. Yeah,
fast
then it's
reaction
not so good of an idea. Grave is really good at dealing with that.
And then Axe blinks and Coin blades you in the face, though. There's a lot of different opportunities here. I imagine that TC and you are just going to get farmed enough where the March might not be a significant source of damage, or they'll just kill everybody too quickly for that to even matter. Not to mention, I believe, yeah, that's a full Aghanim is done now for AUI 2000 as well, so 3 birds coming out pretty soon. As soon as he gets it sent out. Yuar is going to take the enemy Ancients. Job was going to try to use his Fire Blast, but Yuar just blinks away and finds a double damage rune for good measure, because why not? Yeah,
Wow, that is...
For me, that's not that surprising. That's what he does. That's AUI 2000 in a nutshell, I feel.
He's got cooldown on Summon Familiars right now, so... Can't get the 3rd one just yet. But yeah, once again... This game is very simple right now. It's...
Oh my god.
Yawar trying for the one-shot. I think he... Did he crit there? I don't think he crit.
That was just... I think that was just damage, double damage rune.
Yeah, that's absurd. So... It's pretty simple. The Dire are under pressure. They've lost all their towers apart from the tier 2 mid. They're doing whatever they can to scramble for farm, but they're playing into TA traps, an overfarmed team, and they have very minimal vision. So the only real way they have of making a play is either getting in on Roshan and surprising, or going for a smoke, or just flat out running into the enemy team and trying to take a fight. They will continue to get out farmed. Tinker's a little bit of a wild card, but you still see on the graph that even with a Tinker, they're still losing by the minute from all the farming power the Radiant have. And honestly, I don't think Root has better late game. Like, I don't think there's a win condition for them past minute 45 either. Unless they get like an absolutely monstrous Tinker and DC make a couple of mistakes, because they have good solutions to Meepo in the late game.
I think they have to get lucky in team fights, even with an Echo Slam, and even with BKB, and maybe kind of have to get lucky with that ability. Another thing that you talked about, I think you mentioned, is that there are TA traps all over the damn place. Another good thing about TA traps is that you can just throw them in the trees. If you think there is a Tinker nearby, throw a TA trap into the tree line, you spot him out, and you just jump on him. And they tried doing that once with UR, and they were almost successful with it as well, but Monkeys was able to blink out in time before getting jumped on. So
it's an alternative to the Cliff Ward, basically.
Right, exactly. Which I would not be surprised if they do put up a Cliff Ward, just to make sure that they have all avenues secured. Maybe a Cliff Ward in the top lane. Put one up. I think the most common one is around this area, in this general vicinity. If you can see where I'm pointing. But there's a couple other ones. If he's pushing it here, you could put it over onto the side. But they won't have to worry about that now. Roche is up. They have complete understanding that it is available because they have a TA trap in the Roche pit.
Triple BKBs. It's go time.
And a smoke up the seat.
For Team Digital Chaos.
Dire's middle tower is under
This is going to
attack.
be a really difficult hold for Root. If they lose 1 or 2 heroes before Digital Chaos reach their base, by the way, the derp gem, they can't afford to lose. This is actually really good right now. Yeah, Waga's totally dead.
Waga is most certainly dead. Soul Assumption, Culling Blade, not even necessary. The Visage Bird's more than enough to bring him down.
Root's
Waga does have
poof.
buyback.
That's shit.
Do you have Blink? Blink proof? Nah, yeah, that's not even that great. He doesn't have a Blink.
I mean, it's cool if
God.
you have an Illarune or a Manta, right? But
Right.
Dire's middle
Do you?
tower is under attack.
They're gonna run towards the tier 3 tower mid. Monkey's Forever's gonna start the good old March spam.
Radiant's top
Bulba
tower
might turn on his blade mail here pretty soon. But guess what? They don't care. They're just going high ground. They're gonna have to throw up a lot more marches than this just to get them off the base. TC's already just sieging effectively. The Manta's illusions are done. They were cleaned up pretty quickly. I think it's
that
just
was a
time for them to
glyph
Roche.
used, though.
True. Roche, get Aegis, head back to the base. No glyph available. Try to push for the GG. Try to get a team fight victory.
And of course, DC do have the possibility with the lead they have. They can, if they can push out, say, bottom and mid at the same time, they can start in mid. The moment Tinker marches there, you just rotate 1 or 2 of the hard-hitting heroes to bottom, and you know you can reinforce, right? So let's say TA is the one split pushing and going for bottom tower. Killing TA for the Dire is really difficult. They need to commit a lot, and then she has the Aegis. And in the meantime, either they get the tower mid or the Rax, or they go and help her out and win the team fight. So I think generally this is the way to go about it for DC if they don't want to itemize, as mentioned, multiple blade mails or pipe plus mech or something like that. Alternatively, they get a heart on every hero, and then they go.
That's what I was thinking, but that's still kind of a ways away from most of the heroes, with maybe the exception of the TC. And he picked up a satanic recipe, so
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
next
just as
best
good
thing.
on him.
So that's not too surprising. They do have to push out top
Radiant's
because
top
Monkey's
tower
Forever was
is
doing
under
some split
attack.
pushing of his own. I don't know. I think if maybe it's DC making a mistake pushing up S5 again, and Schwann somehow getting with a Blink Echo Slam before they get their BKBs off. I mean, that seems to be the dream. I'm not sure what else you could accomplish. Not easy.
And Yawar can actually one-shot Shaker right now, I think, if he crits on the meld attack. It's pretty close, at least. He's getting his Daedalus flying out now. He can definitely one-shot Dazzle,
Yeah.
the crit here. That's pretty scary. And he's not going to be scared. First of all, Yawar is a pretty aggressive player. And secondly, he has the Aegis. So this is like the killer combo that often just ends games. When you have an aggressive carrier player who gets a key pick off, and you just go.
Waga just walked right into
Oh,
2 heroes from DC. Somehow survives. BKB Bulba is going to jump in. He wants to call Waga, and he will do so. Schwann is going to get telekinesis. He wants to echo. That's not going to get off. Fisher was stolen by Biryu, and suddenly the opportunity arises where DC can now just let Bulba get a triple kill and take the base. That's it. I mean, that's pretty much all you needed. There's only a buyback on Waga. They will try to march to keep them out of the base, but
yeah, but they're bottom. This is the exact thing I was suggesting that could happen. Of course, this is easier because they've just killed 3 heroes, but
Right.
it's still the same concept, right? There's double march in mid. They have the wave bottom. This is 1 lane of Rax. If Tinker tries to defend this, they get mid as well. He's actually porting in right now. And he has to cancel that because Yawar's in position.
Yawar just blinked forward, put himself in
Oh,
meld.
Yawar.
We don't want to deal with that. Derp, say goodbye to the
damage.
gem. Say goodbye to your bottom Rax. Say goodbye to your mid tier 3. Say goodbye to this game more than likely. Pretty anticlimactic finish, but I really don't see any way that Root can defend this. Earthshaker's still down. He's up in a second, but this is at least 2 lanes of Rax. TC now has a Satanic, and there it is. Hey, that's it. I was maybe one of the most one-sided games I've ever seen. Unfortunately for Root, the cool lineup didn't work out. Good Echo Slam at the end of the game, but it's just not enough. So,
Style points.
style points
You lose
indeed.
at least go out with a bang, right?
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, that was just, you know, Draskell and I were saying pretty much the same thing. We weren't sure how Root's draft was going to work, how they were going to lane, what they were going to accomplish with it, and I feel like, yeah, the concern we had is what we saw in play right here. They just didn't find a way of getting in.
And when it's all said and done, Root might have been the sweethearts of the tournament by picking up some pretty interesting heroes, picking up an interesting lineup. Oracle in the first game, and then in this second game, you obviously have Meepo and Tinker, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, Digital Chaos were just really, really on the ball with their picks and with their play as well. They played, I would say, immaculately with both of these games. Well, with that being said, that was the end of the game, and we're waiting on somebody, I believe. But before we do leave, I want to say real quick, thank you so much for joining us for the Elimination Mode. Our grand finals are tomorrow. Best of 5 series. I believe it'll be Digital Chaos versus 4
CL.
Clovers. Yes, that's correct. Very
At
exciting.
1800 CEST.
That'll be fun. And make sure you check out moondeck.tv for more information about the tournament. With that being said, I think we are ready to hand it back over to the panel. Guys, what do you think?
Thank you so much, Maut. Wow, what an exciting series to wrap up our third day of coverage here. As the casters mentioned, nothing but the best of 5 grand finals ahead, so we can look forward to that tomorrow. Unfortunate that Root had to go down 0-2 after such interesting picks, but seemed you were kind of right there, Draskell. The old Tinker Meepo duo kind of fell apart.
It's like maybe one of the greediest things that I've ever seen a team do in any competitive match. Like Meepo Tinker together. Those heroes are both notorious for shoving lanes and just soaking up all the farm.
Get out. Slacks, get out. You're done. You're late.
Yeah, Slacks,
yeah,
Slacks,
Slacks
you missed
is
it.
not,
you fucked it
not
up.
on point.
You ruined our overlay. You're still ruining our overlay. You spotty. Thank you.
Get out, Slacks.
God damn it. Sorry, Draskell. Continue. On with the chlorophyll.
I mean, there's not really much else to say, to be honest. It's just like, when you pick heroes like that, you have to have a certain expectation of, unless this team has practiced it multiple times in scrims and understands the ins and outs of how it's supposed to function, it's probably not going to be great. And it wasn't great. That's all there is.
Yeah.